We're just gonna be pre-filming videos. We're being responsible. Oh wait, no.
Tammy tries to read, and the
pause.
book I am picking for Sophia to read this month.
Pause. Oh my gosh! I spoiled myself. Alrighty, so hey. Okay, sorry. Hey, how's it going? How's life? My name is Sophia. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my, it's not even February TBR. Okay, originally, we're gonna go on a tangent here. Originally, I wanted to do a February TBR type situation where I have my friends pick out the books, but I think I'm gonna turn this into a reading vlog. We're gonna see how this goes. But yes, so I had all of my friends send me videos of them picking out a book for me to read, and so for this series I'm just basically gonna be reading the books. As simple as that. But yeah, so the first video I have to show you guys here is going to be from my friend, from my wifey Tammy, from Tammy Tries to Read.
Hello, my name is Tammy from the channel Tammy Tries to Read, and the book I am picking for Sophia to read this month is The Children of Time by Adrian Czeivoski. I am picking this because I was technically supposed to buddy read this with Sophia, and I started it without her, but I haven't finished it yet, so I think next month would be a great time for Sophia to catch up and for us to finish this together. Basically, this is a sci-fi that takes place in the near distant future. I don't really know. Have I even read this book? But basically, Earth has kind of gone to shit, really. And they go to this other planet that they have been building this terraforming project on, and they are expecting to be welcomed, by, like, non-hostile forces, and also they are expecting this like colony of like smart monkeys basically, but what they end up finding are sentient giant spiders, and it's an evolutionary sci-fi story, and it's really interesting so far, and I just really want Sophia to read it because we're both afraid of spiders and we both said we would read it. So yeah, Children of Time, let's go.
Okay, so the first book I'm gonna be reading is Children of Time by Adrian Czeivoski. I think that's how you say it. I know absolutely nothing about this book except for giant talking spiders and what Tammy has just told me. So this is exciting and terrifying at the same time. I honestly thought she was gonna pick Gideon. Like I was like, Tammy, there's no way Tammy isn't gonna pick Gideon. But then she didn't pick Gideon. And so I'm just like, do I even know her? I don't, but yeah, so excited and nervous for that. Alrighty, so the next video is going to be from my friend Rue.
Hi Sophia, and hi Sophia's channel. I'm really excited to pick you a book for your TBR. I'm trying really hard not to abuse this power that you've given me, and hopefully I've picked two books that you really enjoy. This one is technically only half a book because you already agreed to buddy read it with me, but I'm putting it in here so that you have no excuses, and that is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Like I said, you promised you're gonna read this with me, and I'm not taking any chances, so I'm putting it on your TBR. Now you have to read it with me. But yeah, I think both of us are really gonna enjoy it. We'll see. I'm excited to buddy read this with you. And the second book that I really want you to read, because I really want to know what you think about it, because I think I've been hyping it up a lot on my channel and I'm curious to see what you think, and that is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I think this book has so many interesting discussions that it does in such a great way. I think honestly you might really enjoy this, so I hope you give it a chance, because part of me just really wants to know what you think about it. And I think because I'm sure Tammy and Katie have picked really chunky adult fantasies, I thought you might want a shorter, more light book in the mix, just so that you're not overwhelmed by all that adult fantasy. But yeah, those are my picks for you. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you have a great reading month. Bye!
Yeah, okay. She says Katie and Tammy picked chunky fantasies, but yet she picked Priory of the Orange Tree. Oh my gosh. Fun fact, Rue has already read Priory of the Orange Tree. So yeah, I'm just gonna be spamming her with all my thoughts and feelings on the series. At least Legend, I'm not too worried about Legendborn. I feel like I could get through that one pretty quickly. I am nervous about Priory because update Rue has read it and I don't think she loved it quite as much as she was hoping to, and so that kind of makes me nervous, but we shall see how this goes. Okay, alrighty, so boop. The next one is going to be from my friend Katie from the channel Brightness Katie Reads. I will be sure to leave everyone's channels linked down below for you guys to check out. I would highly recommend. They are my friends. I love and adore them, and they make really great content. But yeah, so now we're gonna be watching Katie's. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Wish me luck.
Hi Sophia's channel, so I'm Katie from Brightness Katie Reads, and for Sophia to read in, I'm guessing February, I am going to choose Gideon the Ninth, which is one of my favourite books, so I'm very excited for Sophia to read it. And yes, so in this one we are following Gideon, who is part of this ninth house. She's been brought up in the ninth house, but she's always trying to escape, and her escape attempts constantly being thwarted by this other character called Harrow, who is the reverend daughter of the ninth house. And one day Harrow has to recruit Gideon to become her cavalier, which is essentially a bodyguard, to go to this competition where the different houses are in competition to try and become a lictor and discover the secrets to lictorhood. And lictors are basically these kind of godlike figures, and then it all kind of escalates from there. You get the interactions between Gideon and Harrow, who are iconic. Their banter is hilarious, and you also get the different characters from the different houses, and it also starts to become a bit of a murder mystery as characters keep mysteriously dying. So that's really cool, and I'm really excited to see what Sophia thinks of it, and so she can join me and Tammy on our hype train. So yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. I was supposed to read Gideon. I started reading Gideon, I think last month in January. I just didn't finish it. I think I got a couple of pages in and like my brain was just like, no bitch, and so I put it down. And so that's not bad. That's not a bad TBR at all. Out of the 4 books that were picked from me, 2 of them are on my TBR. I physically own these 2, and so I'm gonna be reading these for this reading vlog project that I'm super nervous about. But yeah, wish me luck. I will catch up with you guys on another day with another update. Bye. I have no idea what I'm doing. But hey, how's it going? How's life? So I recorded that clip of me reacting to my friends picking my TBR several weeks ago, but then I got into a slump for the entire month of February. And so like I'm finally sort of getting out of it. I hope I don't jinx it. But I did start today, just now, Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I'm not that far into it. I'm only 3-4 chapters into it, and so far I like it. In Legendborn, you are following our main character, Bree Matthews, who's 16 years old and a freshman in college. And so the story starts off with her and her friends at a party, and then some supernatural vibes are happening. And so right now, And so basically, like, there's like this mystery when it comes to this town and magic. And so Bree is trying to figure it out. So far, I'm liking it. So far, I'm very intrigued by it. I'm also intrigued by the potential love interest. It's a YA, so I'm guessing that the guy, I'm trash at names, forgive me, but I'm guessing that the guy we're introduced to is going to be her love interest. And so I'm just like, give me some angst, please. I need that in my life. One complaint I do have is like the best friend. So, trigger warnings for death of a parent, but Bree lost her mother. It's not a spoiler. It happens in the prologue of the story. And so literally her best friend is like, I can't believe the person you're becoming. I can't believe who you are. You almost got us expelled and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's fair to be upset about nearly getting expelled. But at the end of the day, you made that decision to go to the party to trespass on private property. Like, Bree didn't force you. And second of all, what kind of best friend treats their friend like that after they just lost a parent? I find that suspect, to say the least. But yeah, I will update you guys when I manage to finish this book. If I manage to finish this book, because we're in a slump. So the next update might come a month from now. We shall see. Okay, so hey, how's it going? I am back with a Legendborn update. But yes, so far I'm really liking Bree as a main character. I relate to her on so many different levels. And like, there's just something about having a Black protagonist in a urban fantasy series that just really hits home. The one thing I could compare to it, even though it's absolutely nothing like this, but in high school, I read the Mortal Instruments series, and that was like my first foray into urban fantasy, and I really enjoyed that series. But there's like a certain level of attachment I feel with Legendborn that I didn't feel with the Mortal Instruments, and 100% it's probably because the main character is Black. So like, there are certain cultural things, there are certain things that her father says to her, and I'm just like, wow, I can relate to this, and I love this so much. And honestly, it makes me happy that, you know, young adults or teenagers are getting some representation. It's not where it could be, but it is better than what I had growing up. And I honestly, I wish I had that as a teenager, because it's like, yeah, I enjoyed a lot of the stories I read growing up, but like, I wasn't as attached to them as I could have been, if that makes sense. Like, they're not as relatable to me. And so with Legendborn, for example, there's like a lot of discussions about race and microaggressions and things like that that I like really appreciate, that I experienced in real life. And like, it's just like the little things that really speak to me that like I really enjoy. I've had strangers, like I've had random people come up to me and just start stroking my hair, and then I turn around and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? And like, that actually happens in this book, where her friends are just start stroking her afro, and Bree's like, no, you can't do that. Like, I'm not a petting zoo. It's little tiny things like that that just speak to my spirit. Other than the fact that I can relate to Bree and her struggles in a way that I haven't been able to with other non-black main characters. Besides that, I really enjoy the story itself. I think that the plot is very interesting. There's like this mysterious aspect with Bree's mom and like the secret order. And so I find that intriguing. And like I have no idea where the story is gonna go, but if I'm being completely honest, it's probably because I don't read a lot of mysteries. So take that take that with a grain of salt. I really love the characters. I love the discussions on race, not just blatant racism, but also the discussions of microaggressions. I really like that. It's just it's just a really good book in like a million different ways. And like I'm really glad that Rue picked this for me to read. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know if I'm gonna read that other book, that Shannon McGuire. Is that her name? That's not even her name. Priory of the Orange Tree. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know if I'm gonna read Priory of the Orange Tree because like it's a chunky book and I'm not in the mood to read chunky books. Sorry, Rue, I love you. But yeah, Legendborn is just, it's taking over my heart and I didn't expect it. And it's crazy. It's crazy because I had no interest in reading this book. Like, the premise didn't appeal to me. I could care less about King Arthur and that whole legend. But the way Tracy Deonn has like taken it and has morphed it into this amazing, wonderful story, I'm happy. I'm really happy I decided to pick this up. But yeah, I will give you guys another update when I can. Okay, bye. Okay, so I have been reading Legendborn all freaking day. And like there is like this I got to chapter 44. And when I tell you that chapter had me so freaking emotional, I just wow. So like our main character loses her mother. Like her mother dies. Trigger warning, by the way, for death of a parent. But in the beginning of the story, we find out that Bree's mother has passed away in a car crash. And so Bree is spending the rest of the story trying to figure out the mystery behind her mother's death. And something happens in chapter 44 and it just made me fucking cry like a baby. Like, it made me so emotional. And like her dad, the conversation she had with her dad. My heart honestly is broken. And I don't know how to survive this. Like, I'm in so much pain right now. And, like, it was, yeah. I don't know. I might try to finish Legendborn today. We shall see. But, like, honestly, I'm feeling very emotional right now. I'm feeling very invested in Bree's story. And like I just want the best for her, you know? But yeah, I think the next time I update you guys will be when I finish the book. I'm just gonna go cry in a little corner of my room. Okay, so the lighting might be a little bit funky, and that is because it's 10 o'clock and I have just finished Legendborn. And I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 rounded up to 5 stars. But yeah, I really enjoyed this story a hell of a lot more than what I was expecting. Just from the synopsis, I wasn't sure that it was something that I was going to like, but like I really appreciated this book, and like it's a very solid. I don't know if this is Tracy Dion's debut, but if it is, it's a very solid debut. Besides the discussions on race and microaggressions, Tracy Dion also has a lot of discussions when it comes to trauma and dealing with the death of a parent. And she also has discussions on generational trauma. And so we get to see how that trauma is passed down and how it affects our main character, Bree. And I thought that that was so well done. Bree, as a main character, I really loved her. She's very smart. She's very stubborn and she doesn't ever back down, even in moments where it's like, honey, you should probably calm down. And she sticks to her guns 100% of the time. And I really love that. Cell, I think his name is. Like, he started off as like the stereotypical dark, broody type character. And normally I really hate those types of characters. I think most of the time those characters are poorly done, poorly developed. But surprisingly, I really liked that in this book. And the angst between her and Cell from the very first page. Granted, at one point he thinks she's a demon, but you know, all romances, they have their struggles, you know. I really liked his character despite him being kind of an asshole, if I'm being completely honest, which is surprising because I normally don't like those types of characters. And getting to know Sal and his trauma, I thought that that was also very well done. And Nick, okay, if I'm being completely honest, I enjoyed most of the characters, except for the racist ones, for obvious reasons. I will say, in terms of the romance felt kind of insta-lovey, and it's explained towards the end of the book, but like it still felt kind of insta-lovey to me, simply because how do I describe this? As we're reading this romance, it feels like a slow burn. At least in my opinion, it felt like a slow burn. And then you turn the next page and you realize it's only been a couple of weeks. And so I wasn't the biggest fan of that aspect. I wish that the timeline was more spaced out instead of everything happening in a few weeks, but that's just like a personal thing. The world building, I really enjoyed the world building. The world building was very intriguing, to say the least. There is a mysterious aspect going on, and I was intrigued from the very beginning. Like, as I stated before, I didn't really care about the Arthurian legend, but to see how Tracy Dion takes that legend and turns it into her own, I was impressed, to say the least. I feel like the magic system itself is a decent blend with hard and soft elements. So in terms of the line of succession and family trees, like that is how the magic system operates within this world, and how different families are ranked higher or lower depending on their family trees. I thought that was fairly interesting. Very unique. A very unique magic system, if I'm being quite honest. Honestly, I don't know how coherent I'm being with my thoughts. This is an urban fantasy, so it is set in a modern day world. And as a result, we get the history of slavery in the United States and the history of Europe and the Arthurian legend. And you get to see how that influences the magic of today. And I thought that was dope. In the end, it was a really good book. Like, it spoke to my spirit in so many different ways. I absolutely loved and enjoyed every second of it. I would highly recommend picking it up. Honestly, it's one of the best YA books I've read in a long time, and that's saying something because YA hasn't been cutting it for me recently. And so to read this book and have it be so amazing and wonderful, it makes my heart happy. I think the next book I might pick up will be Gideon the Ninth, possibly. I'm not 100% sure. I might pick up Gideon. I might. It's a shorter book, so it makes sense that that's the one I would pick up next. But yeah, I will update you guys when I start my next read. Alrighty, so hey, how's it going? I am back with another update. So I have started reading Gideon the Ninth. I'm about 40% through. And so far, I'm really liking it. I'm really liking Gideon as a main character. Like, I really like reading from her perspective. And I'm intrigued by what is going on so far. I will say that I am a bit confused with some of the stuff going on, but like, I've decided to just go with the flow, to just go with it and see where that takes me. It might be because at this point I don't have the brain cells to fully comprehend what's going on. I might have to reread this, so we shall see how this goes. One thing that's interesting that I find is the lack of sci-fi elements, because this is classified as a sci-fi, but it's not really heavy on the sci-fi elements. It's more heavily focused on this competition. And if I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't remember a lot of the characters' names. I'm already bad with characters. There are certain characters that stick out to me more than others. So like, oftentimes when another character is mentioned, I'm confused because no brain cells. But yeah, besides that, I really like it. I'm intrigued enough to continue on. I don't think I'm gonna continue on tonight, simply because, like I said before, my lack of brain cells. But yeah, this might take me a little longer to finish than I was expecting, because like, I finished Legendborn. I binge read that entire book in about a day. And so I don't think Gideon the Ninth is the type of book I can binge read in just one sitting. So I might have to break it up into smaller sections. But yes, I will give you guys an update at either the 75% mark or when something interesting happens. But yeah, we shall see. Bye. Hi, being a weirdo, but anywho. So last night, I finally finished Gideon the Ninth, and honestly, I don't know what to say about it. Okay, first off, let's start with the positives. So in terms of characters, I really loved Gideon as a main character. I really vibed with her. I really enjoyed her sense of humor. She has a vulgar sense of humor, which I could relate to. And so I found like every other line she said was funny, at least to me. Now, I will say, if that particular sense of humor isn't your vibe, I don't know if I would recommend it, because literally every other word out of Gideon's mouth is pretty vulgar. I don't know what that says about me, but okay. But like, not only did I love Gideon for her sense of humor, but like, I just loved Gideon as a main character in general. She was just so sweet. Life just kicked her down and she was just trying to rise above it. And it's like, this poor precious baby deserves better than this world. Like, protect Gideon Nav at all costs. And like, honestly, she might be one of my favorite characters I've read in quite a while. Harrow, as a character, she was a bitch. Not gonna lie. She kind of started off as a bitch, and then you got to know her and you were just like, oh, you're making me soft. Stop. But yeah, I really liked Gideon and Harrow's dynamic, even though, like, full disclosure, it was very toxic in the beginning, but like, to see how they grow and how they learn to depend on each other, I really loved that. In terms of the plot, I'm not gonna lie, the plot for me was like a 3-star. I had no clue what was going on for 90% of the book. And I literally messaged my friends and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't think I have the brain cells to comprehend what's going on. And they're just like, yeah, just keep reading. Like, that's just how the book is. Just keep reading. And then towards the end, it kind of sort of clicked. But I just wish that it didn't take 90% of the book for the plot, for things to start clicking in my mind. The magic system. If you are the type of person who prefers a hard magic system, honestly, I don't know if I would recommend this to you. But in terms of the magic system, there is no explanation at all to how the magic system operates. I don't like the fact that the sun just set on me in the middle of my sentence, but okay. And so as a result, it feels like things just happen as a result of the magic system, if that makes sense. And so I know a lot of people don't like that. They prefer to have magic system where the rules are clearly defined, and when things happen, you understand why it happened. Yeah, that's not the case with this. You're just going in blindly when it comes to that. And personally, I don't mind a softer magic system. Like, this was just a little too soft for my liking. I don't know. I don't know. I think it might be a combination of the confusing plot and the softer magic system, because I feel like if the magic system were more easily explained, or if the plot were more clear, I might have enjoyed the story a lot more. In the end, I can't decide. I think in the end, I'm going to give this a 3.5 stars. I don't know yet. But for me personally, Gideon was the best part of the story. Period, point blank. Or is it point blank period? I think it's point blank period. I struggle with English, don't judge me. But yeah. In other news, I have finally started Children of Time by Adrian Czeivoski, I think is how you say his name. I'm gonna go look it up right after this. But yeah, I'm only 3 chapters in. And within those 3 chapters, I am intrigued. That story has grabbed my attention and I am here for it. Granted, I am terrified of spiders, so I don't know why I decided to pick this up. Like, even before Tammy chose this book for me, I had plans to still read it because I'm a masochist. But I am intrigued so far. It's very good. I have high hopes for this one. Like, if this is executed well, it could be a potentially new fave. I hope I'm not setting myself up for disappointment, but we shall see. I will give you guys an update either when I'm halfway through Children of Time or when I have better lighting. We shall see. Peace. Okay. Alrighty, so I am about 50% into Children of Time, and I'm liking it a lot more than I expected to, which is surprising. I don't normally read science fiction. Like, fantasy is my bread and butter, and so I find science fiction as a genre to be kind of intimidating. And like, yeah, granted, there's a lot of sciencey stuff. There's a lot of jargon I don't understand when it comes to Children of Time. But like, there's also stuff that's like super entertaining and fun and fascinating in particular. I am definitely terrified of spiders, but I find that the spider's perspective, for me personally, is super duper interesting. So like the way they communicate their culture, seeing how the spiders evolutionize through the generations is so fascinating to me. We get to see them learn how to communicate with their language. We get to see them develop technology. We get to see them develop religion. And it's so fascinating. And we also get to see different social structures shift throughout the generations, which I think is so fascinating. But yeah, and like through each generation, there's like different issues and different problems that they need to solve. And so seeing how they each deal with it and how they each pass on the knowledge is fascinating. It's also a matriarchal society. And it's really dope. I think that the matriarchal society is really well written, which is surprising kind of to me, because in SFF, in adult SFF, men writing women or like men writing matriarchal societies isn't often the best, if that makes sense. But I think like this is super well written, so fascinating. In terms of the humans, honestly, I could care less about the humans. Like, they're just kind of there. There's like this one human guy that I'm like, aw, poor baby's just trying to do his job. He's just trying to live his life, and he's just getting roped into all of this bullshit. But like, also send me back to the spiders. Like, I wanna read about the spiders. Like, humankind, yeah, I guess whatever's going on with them kind of sucks, but the spiders though, I'm super excited to get into the author's other works, particularly Doors of Eden. I don't know anything about that book, but I am intrigued. But yeah, so that was this update. I don't know if it was coherent. We shall see when I have to edit this video. Don't know what that was. I'm so sorry. I'm looking a bit rough today. Oh well, what can I do? But yes, so I finished Children of Time, and I think I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked this story. I liked it a lot more than I was expecting to. Things I really liked about this story, first off, was my battery is going to die. What's new? But one of the biggest aspects of the story that I really liked was the world building. I've said this a million times before, but I don't even think I told you what any of these books are about. But in this world, humans are like, Earth is dying and humans need to find a way to survive. So they create this virus to infect monkeys and to send them off to this terraforming project on other worlds. And so like the idea is that the monkeys will evolve and become like humans, and like so they can continue to live on through these monkeys. But something happens, and what ends up happening is that the monkeys are destroyed, but the virus is still sent to this new world. and it infects spiders. And so like these spiders become giant talking spiders. They develop language, they develop a society. And so now there's a conflict between like the humans from Earth as well as these new spiders. And let me tell you, I am terrified of spiders. I am terrified of bugs in general. So I was very hesitant going into this. I don't know why I wanted to read a book about giant talking spiders when I'm scared of them. It's just the masochist in me, I guess. But like, it was so interesting to see how they develop their language, how they develop their culture, how science and technology is also developed within this world. And it was just so dope and amazing. I really liked the matriarchal society. There's like a line in this book where it's just like, girls will be girls. And like, I liked seeing that flipped on its head. That's like a weird thing, I guess. And like the humans were kind of trash, which isn't surprising because like there is like a lot of commentary on humanity and war and why humans are the way they are and why like they tend to destroy. And like it was just so much conflict with the humans. Granted, there was conflict with the spiders, but like with the humans, it was just stupid. Like the conflict was so stupid. And it's like, if you could just, a lot of it at certain points was like, if you could just see past your selfishness and your egotistical mind, then like maybe human wouldn't be on its way to extinction. But yeah, I will say there was a lot of scientific elements. Granted, it's a sci-fi, but like there's like a lot of science and like jargon that I just didn't really understand, and it went kind of over my head. I understood some of it, but not all of it, if I'm being completely honest. But I will say that didn't take away from my overall enjoyment of the story. My battery died. What's new? But yeah, so like in terms of pacing, I would say that this is more of a slow pace. I don't even know what I would call it in terms of pacing, because like the way the story sets up is that there's like a lot of little stories and little conflicts that leads up to the overall conflict. So while certain aspects of the story can be fast-paced, to me the overarching plot felt slower paced to me. There wasn't any grand climactic moments that had me at the edge of my seat, but it was still enjoyable. The only slight critique I have is the climax felt just a smidge anticlimactic to me. Just a tiny bit. But it's also weird because I don't know how else Adrian Czeivoski could have ended this, you know? But like besides that one tiny little criticism, I enjoyed the story. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was good. I would definitely recommend. I don't know if I would recommend this to a sci-fi newbie. It's a lot of science heavy jargon, but like if you don't mind that going completely over your head and you're just here for the characters and the world and the matriarchal society and giant talking spiders, then I would say go ahead, give it a shot. You might really like it. So that was the last book I am going to read for this project. I have decided not to read Priory of the Orange Tree simply because I'm not in the mood. I'm not gonna read it. So we're just gonna conclude this vlog situation. Yay! I don't even know. At this point, I'm just word vomiting. But yeah. So that was the end of this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. feel free to comment down below. Let me know, are there any books that I read in this reading vlog that you might be interested in checking out. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's late, my brain isn't functioning. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you guys soon with another video, and until then, I will see you soon. Bye.